All right, so you're brand new to Grand Junction, Colorado, and you're driving around and Siri tells you make a left at 26.5 road and a right at H3/4 road. Really? It can't be Maple Street and 2nd? Well, in this video, we're going to tell you everything you need to know about the street system here in Grand Junction. There is actually a method to all this madness, and we're going to get after it right after this, so stay tuned. What's going on, everybody? This is Robert Hayes, and along with my wife Christie and the team, we're the Hayes Home Group right here in Grand Junction, Colorado. And if you are brand new to this channel and you want to know everything about working, living, playing here in Grand Junction, do yourself a favor and us a favor. Hit that subscribe button, tap that little bell. That way you're notified every time we post a new video. We are getting so many people reaching out to us from all over the country, and we absolutely love it. So if you're even thinking about moving here to Grand Junction, make sure that you reach out and give us a phone call, shoot us a text, send us an email, whatever you need to do. We've got your back when moving to Grand Junction. So yeah, it can get a little tricky if you're brand new here to town and you're driving around seeing these 1/8 roads and 3/4 roads and then letters, numbers, fractions, all kinds of crazy stuff. But really, in 1885, when the founders came up with the street grid system, they started downtown and they went in 1 mile increments, and it just kind of grew from there. They didn't want to offend any of the founders by naming streets of certain people's names to, not offend somebody else that didn't get a street named after them. So let's go ahead and pull up a map. That's probably the easiest thing to explain how this is all mapped out, and it really does make a lot of sense. All right, so here we go. Here's the map of Grand Junction, and let's start with the lettered roads. So A road is going to be at the south end of Grand Junction, so all the way down here in Orchard Mesa. All of the lettered roads run east to west or west to east, however you want to think about it. So they're all going to be going east to west. So if you can see here, take a look at B.5 road. From B.5 road to C.5 road, that's 1 mile. From C.5 road to D.5 road, that's 1 mile. From D road to E road, 1 mile, so on and so forth. So the fractions are just what you would think. A half mile from E road is E.5 road, and that'll extend all the way north throughout the entire valley. The only exception is Patterson Road. It's still 1 mile from Patterson Road, which is formerly F Road, and then a half mile is going to be F.5 Road. But they changed the name, and thank goodness, to Patterson Road. There's a lot of business and commerce along Patterson. So just for simplicity and deliveries and mail and whatnot, they finally decided to just change one of the main thoroughfares. That's one of the main roads, east-west in the valley, to Patterson Road. But if you can think about that as being formerly F Road, that might be helpful. Again, F.5 Road, G Road, half mile. There's actually a nice little subdivision where it gets to even some crazier fractions. It's right off 25 Road here. And that's going to be G 3/8 Road. And this is Wilson Ranch right here. So from G Road to G 3/8 Road, you guessed it, that's 3/8 of a mile. And that's how the letters are all laid out. It gets even more critical when you get up into the north area of Grand Junction. So I Road, J, K, L, so on and so forth. 1 mile, 1 mile, 1 mile. So again, the base point is going to be A Road down here in Orchard Mesa, and it goes up from there, and all those lettered roads run east-west. So let's take a look at the numbered roads, and let's go ahead and start at the baseline, which is the Utah-Colorado border. So anything that's going to be numbered is going to be in relation as far as how many miles from the Colorado-Utah border. So let's go ahead and zoom back in, and you'll see how this all makes sense. So let's take a look at 24 Road. That's one of the main roads here in Grand Junction. The numbered roads all run north-south. Same thing applies, except this is 24 miles from the border of Colorado and Utah. 24 and a half miles from the border. So you can see how it's going to increase as you go east, with the border obviously being to the west. So 23 road to 24 road, 1 mile. Half mile, another half mile is 25 road, another mile, 26 road, so on and so forth. So that's how you can come into where you've got an intersection of H and 3/4 road, which is 3/4 of a mile from H road, and 26 and a half road, which is a half mile east of 26 road. That's how you get kind of a crazy intersection. So there you go. The only difference, and this is where things do get somewhat confusing, and so I want to kind of talk a little bit about that. I was telling you about how the founders created these streets back in 1855. That started here in downtown, and all of these are going to be streets, not roads, but streets. So everything downtown is going to have a street. So if you have an address that's going to have a street, then more than likely it's going to be in this downtown area here. Here's where it gets kind of funky. So here's First Street, here's 26 Road, same street, but it changes south of Patterson Road. So you're going to be 26 Road north of Patterson, you're going to be First Street south of Patterson. So everything in this box, if you can see that right there, everything in that box is going to be a street. Everything north of that box is going to be a road. So that might be helpful when you're trying to find an address that's, 7th Street, which is also 26 and a half road north of Patterson Road. South of Patterson, that's going to be North 7th Street. So you can see how it lays out here. If you really go downtown and zoom in, you have First Street, 3rd Street, 5th Street, 7th Street, so on and so forth. And that carries on all the way to about 27th Street. So let me zoom back out so you can see 27th, 1st, and everything in between in that area is going to be a street. So that's just, again, since the inception of the street mapping in Grand Junction, everything was a street. Outside of this box, if it's a road, it's not going to be in here. Most likely it's going to be anywhere in this in these other areas of town. So the other thing I wanted to point out too is the business loop. If someone says it's along the I-70 business loop, there's I-70, that's the interstate, the regular old interstate I-70, and a lot of cities have business loops. Here's ours. I-70 business loop runs all the way into downtown. So that's the I-70 business loop. So if you hear that, then that's, hey, we're right off the I-70 business loop on 30 Road. Well, it's going to be right in this area right here. There's 30 Road, there's the business loop. Another kind of a funky thing in town is we have Old Highway 6, which you can see here. It connects back up to Highway 70, Interstate 70 off to the west. And then you have down south Highway 50, which is down here. And you keep taking that south and you can hit Telluride in a couple of hours. In the middle of town, here's the Mesa Mall. And this stretch here from about downtown to, I'd say about 24 Road, this stretch in through here is called the 6 and 50. So if someone says, hey, there's a new restaurant that just opened up on the 6 and 50, that's this stretch right here. They call it both names, Highway 6 and 50. There's also some major commerce in here. You've got, Walmart, Lowe's, Hobby Lobby. You've got over here Old Navy, Ross, TJ Maxx. So a lot of major commerce in through here on what they call the 6 and 50. So anything on the 6 and 50 is going to be in this range here. Other than that, hope that makes sense with the letters and the numbers. Again, north and south is going to be roads, numbered roads running north and south, each one a mile from one another. And you get those fractions just simply because it's only a half mile or 3/8 of a mile. And then you've got the lettered roads, which run east-west, same thing. They will run in sequential order, D road, E road, F, G, so on and so forth, H, I, all the way up even into the desert there. And then even more so in Fruita, they've got a lot of those fractions, but same applies. That's the same J road all the way into Fruita, That's the same K Road, K and 4/10 Road. That's a 4/10 of a mile from K Road North, so on and so forth. All right, so there you go. Pretty easy stuff. It all makes sense now. Next time you're driving around and you see H1/4 road, you know exactly where you're at in relation to the valley. So again, if you are new to this channel and you like this information and you want to know everything about working, living, playing here in Grand Junction, go ahead and do us a favor, hit that subscribe button, tap that little bell, that way you're notified every time we post a new video. And again, we're getting so many people reaching out to us from all over the country. If you're thinking about moving here, make sure that you reach out and give us a phone call, text message, email, whatever you need to do. We've got your back when moving to Grand Junction. Until the next video, we'll catch you later.